Hello everyone. I hope you saw my first video, which was about the introduction. And I mentioned in that video I have a few models of aircraft like the Boeing 747 and the A380. Also, I mentioned I would add the other planes like A350 and the 787. So, today we'll be seeing parts of an aircraft with the Boeing 747, which is my favorite. So, let's start. So the main body of the aircraft is called the fuselage, which is this section. So it covers from the nose till the tail. And next, the main body of the fuselage supports everything like the landing gear, the wings, the vertical and horizontal stabilizers, and also the rudder. So, after we are done with the fuselage, there are three parts in this: forward, mid, and aft fuselage. The forward fuselage, there is the cockpit and the upper deck, and also the passenger cabin. In the mid fuselage, there are only passenger cabins, and in the aft fuselage, a rear door and a vertical and the horizontal stabilizer with the rudder on them. Next, let's come to the wings. Wings are an essential part of an aircraft which helps generate lift. Lift is very essential in aircraft so that it can fly. The shape of the wings is very necessary for the aircraft to lift. So the wings are very streamlined as you can see here. And the wings also have many elements on them which are called the wing elements. So let's take a look at them. These are called the flaps. They are also used to help generate lift at lower speeds when the aircraft is taking off on the runway. The flaps are extendable, they can move up or down according to the switch which the pilot flips in the cockpit. Next, let's come to the engines. Engines are the thing which generates thrust in the aircraft to help it move forward. The engines are also very necessary since they suck enormous volumes of air, helping the aircraft propel forward. So the air enters the engine from inside here and shoots out the back from here, as you can see here. Next, let's come to the landing gear. The landing gear, also called wheels, are thing which is used to lift the aircraft off the ground or land it on the runway. These are called the landing gears. The landing gears have two terms: the main undercarriage and the nose undercarriage. The main undercarriage is the landing gear which is in the mid fuselage. It supports the whole aircraft's weight when the aircraft touches down on the ground. After that, the nose gear. This touches down on the ground after the main undercarriage has touched down on the ground. This consists of two wheels, and this also supports some weight of the aircraft after the nose wheel has touched down on the runway. They call this the nose wheel because this is near to the nose and this is exactly above the cockpit. Next, let's go to the stabilizers. Horizontal and vertical stabilizers. Older models of aircraft had this stabilizer replaced here, which means this part of the stabilizer was attached to the main stabilizer. But newer models like the Boeing 747 have the stabilizers below them. These are called the actual stabilizers. The thing which calls them stabilizers is they help the plane to go in a straight path. They help them move up, down, left or right. So if a pilot want to move the plane up, this stabilizer will move down so that the wing generates lift to move the aircraft up like this. So if the pilot want to move it down, they put some effort in the cockpit, they push the nose down and this will raise up. So the wind helps the aircraft go down. Next, this is the rudder. This is used to steer the aircraft left to right. If a pilot wants to steer the plane right, the rudder will turn to the left so that the wind help the aircraft turn to the right. But if the pilot want to counteract it, it will turn the other way. Next, The landing gears also have a critical mechanism in them. So when the pilot pushes the switch up in the cockpit, a very special fluid called the hydraulic fluid pushes the landing gear up. And also it has the doors which closes and helps the aircraft attain more power. After the aircraft is at a certain altitude, the flaps will come back to its normal position so the aircraft can fly a little bit faster. The reason why pilots do this is because the flaps are coming down and this generates lift while taking off, but also it reduces the drag ratio while landing. So that's why the pilots put it up so that the lift to drag ratio is similar. What is lift to drag ratio? Lift to drag ratio is how much lift the flaps can power and how much drag it can give while the aircraft is flying. They put it up so that the wind is evenly distributed and helps the aircraft maintain more speed. Next, the wings. The shape of the wings is very streamlined as you can see here, and this helps the generate lift. I think I mentioned it before, but I'll tell it again. What are these things? These are called the wingtips. They are used to reduce drag in the aircraft when it's flying. Drag means the aircraft has low speed but it's moving forward. What are these tiny little things on the back of the wing? These are called flap stabilizers. So when the flap is moved downwards, it helps generate lift, right? So the thing actually which makes it generate lift are these little guys. So these four of them, when the wind is moving in this way and the flap is moved down, this creates a low pressure below and high pressure above. So this generates lift. So you can know what these little guys are. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.